Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do averages from a table. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of it, all different ways you can do these things or why they work. That's obviously for lesson time. I'm just going to do it as a quick reminder for revision or for homework or something like that. Okay, so remember, frequency means how many. So how many times did I get 0 goals? Well, frequency is 2, so that happened twice. How many times did I score 1 goal? Well, frequency is 6, so I did it 6 times. 2 goals, 3 times, 3 goals, 10 times. Okay, that's all that means. Now, if I want to work out the mean from this table, I still need to work out the total. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ruler and pen, like so. I'm going to add a column here and call that total. Sometimes they might be nice and give you that. Sometimes they won't be, in which case just add it on. Now to work out the total number of goals, well, I scored 0 goals twice. So we times them together. 0 times 2 is obviously 0. Nearly wrote 2 then, don't do that. Anything times 0 is 0. I scored 1 goal 6 times. So how many goals are that in total? Well, times them together again. I must have scored 6 goals in total. 2 goals 3 times. So what's that? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. That's how many goals I must have scored in total. And 3 times 10, I scored 3 goals 10 times. So in total, I must have scored 30 goals there. Okay. Next thing, I need to know the total of all that. There's a total of each one, but I need to know the overall total. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to add a row here called total. I'm just going to pop that down there. So the overall total, well, 6 add 6 add 30 gives me 42. So that's the overall total number of goals that I've scored. And I need to divide that by how many. Remember, frequency means how many. So I need the total frequency, the total of how many there are in total. So 10 add 3 add 6 add 2 gives me 21. So the mean, exactly as I did in my other video, is the overall total, which is 42, divided by how many games, I suppose these could be called, 21. So 42 divided by 21 is 2. So the average number of goals I score is 2, or whatever the football team is, or something like that. Okay. The mode, well, the mode is just the one that's got the highest frequency. So I'm looking at my frequency table here. The one with the highest frequency is clearly 10. Now the frequency, or sorry, the mode is not 10. So what a lot of people do, they think it's 10. No, that's saying that I scored 3 goals 10 times. So the mode is actually 3. Okay, it's the one with the highest frequency. The highest frequency is 10, therefore 3 must be the mode. And the range, again, look at the goals. A lot of people use the frequency. No, look at the goals. The range, well, the highest number of goals I scored was 3. Take away the lowest number of goals, which was 0. So 3 take away 0 is 3. So again, the range is 3. So be careful about those points there. Now, the next one, which is called a grouped frequency table, because it's not just giving you an actual figure here, it's giving you a range, a grouping here. Okay, so you need to be a little bit careful. You can't just go taking a 0 and times it by 17, or 10 and times it by 17, because we don't know these 17 values. We don't know what they are. They could all be 0, they could all be 10, they could be anywhere in between. So you'll notice on the question, it will say estimate the mean. So have a guess, okay? Not just any guess, like 12 or something, okay? Have an educated guess at what the mean would be. So to do this, what we do is, so if the range, or sorry, the class is between 0 and 10, we go for the middle, or midpoint. Okay, now some people do it as an extra column, some people actually write it in the middle there. Either way, absolutely fine. So the midpoint between 0 and 10 is 5, 10 and 20, 15, and then 25, and then 35. Okay, so I'm going to assume that all the values, these 17 values are all 5, these 10 values are all 15, the 19 values are all 25, and the 14 values are all 35. Obviously, they might be, but I very much doubt it, but that's why it's an estimate. We're having a really good guess at what it could be. Once you've assumed the midpoints, we do exactly the same thing we did over here, and we times the frequency by these values, and we get the total. So again, I'll use red pen, that's fine, total. Okay, so 17 times 5 85. I might add, you probably have a calculator at this point if you're doing this. And then 19 times 25 is 475, and 14 times 35 is 490. And just like before over here, again, I'll do it in red, why not? You need to get your total. I'll just extend these down. So again, I wanted the total for the frequency, no different here. I want the total for the frequency. If I add these all up, I get 60. So 17 add 10 add 19 add 14 is 60. And again, I want the overall total, exactly the same thing here. Don't use the midpoints, that's what some people do. No, I want the actual total. Add those all up, I get 1,200. Okay, then it's the same process over here. The overall total, 1,200 divided by how many there are. Well, there's 60, that's the total frequency, and therefore I get an estimate of the mean to be 20. Does that make sense? Well, 20 is roughly in the middle of the whole group, so yeah, that kind of does make sense. This word here, modal, trips people up. It just means the mode. Okay, so the modal class is which one has the highest frequency. So having a look here, 17, 10, 19, 14. 19 is the highest frequency, so the modal class is this one here. And that's what you do, you just copy that down. So that is the mode, or modal, okay? Now the range, a bit different when we've got stuff like this. Because we don't know these 17 values, we don't know what the smallest value is, it could be anywhere in here. We don't know what the biggest value is, it could be anywhere between this range here. So you've got two choices really, and everywhere in between. We could say the biggest possible value would be, well, we can't include 40 because it hasn't got an equals here. Let's assume these are all whole numbers, in which case the biggest possible number I could have would be 39. And take away the smallest possible, 0. I can include the 0 because I've got that equals to there. So the biggest possible range I could have is 39. And the smallest possible range I could have, well, the smallest number I could have in this particular class would be 30. So again, it's equal to. So 30, take away. And then this one here, I can't include 10 because it hasn't got the equals, but I could have 9. So the smallest possible range would be 30 take away 9, which is obviously 21. So range is a little bit more awkward, but as long as you choose your biggest value from here and your smallest value from here, you get the idea of what I'm saying. It could be anywhere between the range. I think there was a GCSE question come up quite recently, or a practice question, I can't remember, where they said, is it possible to have this range? In which case you do exactly what I've just said here. You work out the maximum, you work out the minimum, and then you can say true or false. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea about that. Hopefully that helps you, jog your memory, guys, for your homework or for revision. Thanks.